Hello and welcome to PowerTracks 2014. In this video we are going to check out some of the exciting new features added in PowerTracks Pro Audio 2014, as well as some of the features that were added in 2013. PowerTracks is a fully featured digital audio workstation. You can record up to 48 audio and MIDI tracks. You can mix the tracks, or add audio effects or MIDI effects. There are also powerful and unique features such as the Audio Chord Wizard, which automatically and accurately figures out the chords from MP3, WMA, or WAV audio files. The TC Helicon Vocal Harmonizer to add harmonies or pitch correct your audio tracks, and Real Drums, which allow you to instantly generate real drum tracks that are real recordings of real drummers, not single hit samples but full recordings lasting 1 to 8 bars. Right now, we are listening to one of the files from Jazz Multitracks Volume 2. If you buy or upgrade to the PowerTracks Multipack, it includes 2 volumes each of blues, jazz, and rock multitracks. Each multitracks volume includes 30 jazz, blues, and rock songs recorded by top studio musicians. The songs are WAV audio recordings divided into multitrack format with each instrument on a separate track. You can use the multitrack songs to familiarize yourself with mixing and mastering techniques, or just use them for listening pleasure. For previous PowerTracks users, one of the first things you'll notice is the great new look. This new graphical user interface, or GUI, has been designed to not just look better, but also to improve workflow by putting items in more intuitive places and grouping similar items together. We'll check out various elements of this new GUI throughout the video. In PowerTracks 2014, you can now drag M4A or MP4 files directly onto tracks. For example, I have a sax soloist in this M4A file, and I would like to add it to this jazz tune. All I have to do is drag it from Windows Explorer onto a track. The audio in the file will start at the point you drag it to. Or if you want it to start from the beginning, then simply drag the file onto the track name. All of the instruments here in this song were generated by Band in a Box at 140 beats per minute, and so was the saxophone file, so I know that they will line up perfectly if it snaps right to the beginning. Now we have a jazz tune with a guitar soloist and a sax soloist, but they are both playing throughout the song. It would probably sound better if the musicians took turns. Here's an opportunity to try a new major feature in PowerTracks: node-based volume automation for both audio and MIDI tracks. This means that each track's volume will change during playback based on a series of nodes. These nodes are connected by a line which represents the volume level of the track at any given time. So, as an example, let's use volume automation on the sax and guitar tracks in this tune. We can use volume automation to fade out one track while fading in another, and we can use that to get the sax and guitar soloists to take turns throughout the song. To access the volume automation nodes, expand the track by clicking on this triangle button. To add a node, simply click on the blue line, and start dragging it up or down. The number indicates the volume level. This goes from 0 to 127 because it is based on MIDI volume levels. Another way to add a node is to double-click anywhere in the node area. So the guitar will start at full volume and begin to fade out at bar 17. So let's get the sax to fade in while the guitar is fading out. You can increase the vertical accuracy of the nodes by dragging the height of the node area. You can add as many nodes as you want. So I will add a few more nodes to give a curve to this fade-in. If you add too many, you can simply delete the nodes by double-clicking on them. Or, right-click on a node for more options, and then choose Delete. Or choose Edit. With this you can set an exact value. This can be useful if you want to make sure that the volume automation is completely flat over a given area. so the node at each end should be exactly the same value. Let's hear the song now with the guitar and sax taking turns playing. You can see the volume fader actually move when it's controlled by the automation lines. The new graphical user interface, or GUI, is rearranged to make everything easier to access. All of the buttons and controls are grouped together in various categories, so each button is easier to find. Everything related to transport is now all in one place down at the bottom of the screen. Play, stop, record, skip ahead, and so on are all here, including punch-in, metronome, and looping controls. The punch-in button gives you access to your punch-in settings, and it also allows you to enable or disable punch-in recording. When enabled, these arrows will light up blue instead of gray when disabled. The metronome controls work the same way. P stands for playback and R stands for recording. So the R is blue to indicate that the metronome is enabled during recording, and the P is gray because the metronome is disabled for normal playback. If you want to change these settings, simply click on the metronome button and select or deselect either item from the drop-down menu that appears. And the looping button will also light up blue when looping is enabled. You can click on the button to access the settings for looping. The playback position is shown here, with a convenient sliding control to move to a different playback position. And the current selection is displayed here. Whatever region is currently selected will be shown in detail, exactly where it starts and ends. And if you want a very specific control over the selected region, simply double-click and you can type in the exact bar, beat, and tick values. And there is an overall output view meter and an input view meter, so you can monitor your levels at any time. If your output is clipping, you can use the master volume control to lower the overall volume of everything in PowerTracks. And you can access various audio settings with this drop-down menu, including settings within PowerTracks, and you can even launch playback or recording controls within Windows. Everything related to files is up here on the left. This includes opening files, saving files, rendering audio, and batch file conversion. This is a new feature that was added in PowerTracks 2013. This allows you to take a folder full of files in various audio formats, MIDI, or PowerTracks sequence files, and convert them all to an audio format of your choice. This also includes the .seq file format, which is the PowerTracks and RealBand sequence file. All the standard tools are grouped here, such as undo, copy, and paste. All of your song information controls are grouped here: song title, key signature, time signature, tempo, automatic tempo detection buttons if you feel like tapping it in, and a bar offset. This allows you to specify if your song starts after 2 bars, for example when you have a 2-bar count-in. Audio features can be accessed here. You can add text markers to your sequence or MIDI file with these controls, and various utilities are grouped here. All of the different view controls are grouped together here. Switch to the Tracks window, the Chords window, the classic bars window, or the mixer. The tempo map and meter map are accessed here as well, because like the other views, they affect all tracks in your song. In other words, the entire song, including all tracks, shares one window for these items. For example, one mixer for all tracks. On the other hand, any views or windows used for individual tracks are all grouped here. Notation, audio editing, the guitar fretboard, piano roll, lyrics, lead sheet, and the event list. Clicking on any of these buttons will open a window for the current track, or currently selected track. For example, let's view the notation for this MIDI track that contains the notation for the guitar soloist. Since this is a guitar track, it includes tablature, which shows you which string each note is played on. There is a great new feature in PowerTracks that allows you to rechannel selected notes by clicking on one of the strings in the tablature. That means the channel of the note will change to the string you click on. For example, this note is currently selected, and it plays on the D string. If I click on the A string in the tablature, the note will move to the A string and automatically move to the correct fret. And the next note in the melody becomes selected, so you can quickly customize your guitar tablature by simply clicking on the strings you prefer. Back in the tracks view, let's check out another great new feature. The drop station has been enhanced, so you can now decide exactly what file format you want while dragging a track onto it. For example, let's try exporting the guitar notation. If you want a rendered audio file from the MIDI, then drag the track to one of the audio file options: WAV, M4A, or WMA. Let's try exporting a WAV file. The wave indicator will become dark green, and after a few moments, when the file is ready, it will turn bright green. Then you can switch to DAW plugin mode and drag from the drop station into Windows Explorer, or directly to another audio application if you like. If you simply want to export the MIDI from the track, then you can drag it onto the MIDI corner of the drop station, and that will give you a MIDI file. M4A and MP4 are new supported formats for exporting, and you can see that if you export using the audio or file menus instead. As you can see, the Save As Type menu now includes the M4A and MP4 formats. We hope you enjoy all of the fantastic new features in PowerTracks Pro Audio 2014. Have fun!